This is Father Matthew Kozlowski speaking to you from St. Mary's Episcopal Church in Stuart, Florida. Today, talking to you about politics and religion. I thought you're not supposed to mix those two. Well, you can, and as it turns out on this week, there are two things going on. Today's July 3rd, and tomorrow is July 4th, Independence Day. And another thing happening in the news right now is that Nelson Mandela, former president of South Africa, is finishing his earthly journey, probably going to die in the next few days or the next few weeks. And so it's just been kind of coming to my head that these two watershed events in Western history, the Declaration of Independence in 1776 and the end of apartheid in the 1980s and 1990s, these were political and social actions. At the same time, they had theological and religious and biblical foundations. And I think that's an important part of the story for Christians and religious people to tell, that the foundation, the underlying logic of these events, which were political events, had theological and biblical components to them. So the Declaration of Independence, it's that famous second sentence, which says, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." So it says that government does not give people rights, that rights are given by God. And the only thing I wish they had added is human dignity, that human dignity is given to us because we're made in the image of God. And then it's the government's job to protect those rights. The Declaration goes on to say, to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men. So that's just a really interesting approach, and it has a biblical and theological foundation. Happy July 4th. Happy Independence Day. With apartheid, Nelson Mandela and Archbishop Desmond Tutu, Anglican bishop, everybody thought that the whole country of South Africa was going to fall into civil war and there would be great bloodshed after the end of apartheid. And it didn't. It just didn't, because of something called the Truth and Reconciliation Movement, which was instituted by Desmond Tutu. And it allowed the truth of what had happened to come out, and it allowed for true forgiveness and reconciliation that came through a lot of hard work. And that came from a Christian understanding of what reconciliation is. So there was a strong religious component running through the recovery from apartheid. So I just thought I'd bring those two things up as religious people who also care about politics and care about the social fabric in which we live, and to never forget that those two can often have interesting links and interesting overlaps. This is Father Matthew Kozlowski signing off.